Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm waiting for the flip chart to be installed. I'm the only person who is using a flip chart, mind you. Λίγο πιο πίσω. Bit on the right. Yeah, let's flip it a bit more. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Sorry. Cool. Who is a wine lover? Raise your glass, your hand. Okay, good. Please keep that phrase and let it sink into your subconscious for the time being. Can I have the clicker, please? Where is it? Ah, thanks. Yes. April 13, 2018, the day I submitted my resignation and walked away from a 15-year career in law and a six-figure remuneration package. I was unhappy, demotivated, disengaged, and I had to leave. The irony, the same day coincided with the first day of the first ever Reflect conference, as it was called at the time. And here I am, 1 year later, sharing my story with you. When I left law, I wanted to get to the root, to the bottom of my own unhappiness and demotivation. And I began studying, researching, delving into the fascinating world of human motivation. I've read tons of books. I've interviewed prominent business people. But most importantly, I reflected on my own 15-year career as a lawyer, partner, manager, mentor, team leader, and professional. And I came to my own conclusions that I will share with you today. The starting point, a startling statistic. Gallup, a long-time researcher in the field of employees' engagement, found that 85% of employees worldwide are not engaged. 85% don't care enough about their jobs, their employers, their careers. They clock in and clock out. They do the minimum. Imagine a football team of 11 players, where 9 of the players are dragging their feet on the pitch and one tries to save the day. Well, unless that one player is Messi, my friends, the team is doomed to low performance and mediocrity. And there is only one Messi in the world. So that's a challenge. The cost of this engagement, $7 trillion per year in lost productivity. Two times the GDP of Germany, and to be more locally relevant, 350 times the GDP of Cyprus. Lost every single year, globally. It cuts across all industries. No one is immune. But this is just half the story. Here is the second half of the story. According to McKinsey and Company, 50% of work activities could be automated by 2055, within the next 35 years. 1 out of 2 jobs can be transferred to a smart algorithm, to a chatbot, to a robot, to a Sophia, or to a Siri, or to some other incredibly advanced AI solution. Imagine, on the one hand, we have a grossly disengaged workplace with people clocking in and out, not caring enough. And on the other hand, we have technology encroaching in the same workplace, threatening to displace millions of jobs. A cocktail for disaster? Let's see. According to McKinsey, the only sheltered skills that will withstand the tsunami of technology are the following: emotional and social intelligence, complex communication, sorry, I need to go back. Creativity for innovation. Yep. Here we are. Emotional and social intelligence, complex communications, complex problem solving, creativity for innovation, and managing people. That's all. Do you see anywhere predictable tasks, routine tasks, things that can be performed by demotivated people? The one thing that these skills have in common is that they require highly engaged, highly emotionally and intellectually engaged people to be fully present at work, to emotionally connect with clients, with colleagues, with managers, with creditors, with shareholders, with bosses, with subordinates. And managing people, some of us aspiring to start our own startups or to grow our teams or to develop our companies, maybe dreaming, one day I will hire Sophia to do the management for me, or Siri, or Alexa, or I don't know what, let's hire a robot to do the management. People are so unpredictable, difficult, they react, they have needs. You know what? Bad news, because managing people is the least automatable skill and the one most sheltered for the foreseeable future to come. Because managing people requires having to deal with people. That is one of the most challenging things yet to come. Only 9% of managing people is deemed to be automatable by McKinsey and Company. So how do we manage people? How do we engage them? How do we overcome this massively disengaged workplace? How do we lift our people up so that they can wake up in the morning and want to go to work? Simple, right? Here are the 6 keys to engagement. And a small hint, money is only part of the equation. Money is a hygiene factor, which means that, and this is according to leading social psychologists, if you pay people fairly, then you should get the money issue off the table and focus on intrinsic motivation and drivers. So the only reason to put money on the table is so as to take the issue of money off the table. Here we are, let's see the 6 intrinsic keys to engagement. First and foremost, meaning. A popular story describes President John Kennedy's first visit to NASA's headquarters. There he saw a fellow young man mopping the floor. And he asked him, "What are you doing at NASA, young man?" And the cleaner replied proudly, "I'm helping put a man on the moon." Meaning is a compelling, a powerful motivator, a powerful driver, an incredibly effective non-material reward. A key question that we should ask ourselves is, why should people come and work for us? Why should they rally behind our cause? What is our cause? What is our mission? What is our vision? What is our purpose? To become big, successful, to make a lot of money? You know what? So what? Say millennials. So what? A more pertinent question will be, what are you going to do with the success, with the size, with the muscle, with the money, with the profits you will make? That's a more meaningful question for millennials, as we shall see. What's your purpose? Are you just a profit maximizer, or are you also a purpose maximizer? What do you want to do in the world? I don't care if you want to make a lot of money. What are you going to do with that money? And what is the impact that you want to achieve in the world? That's a more meaningful discussion. Let's take Apple. Steve Jobs was a notorious control freak. He wasn't known for being a democratic leader and manager. He was on the verge of paranoia, according to some professionals. Secretive, pushing people to work. And this management style, the really hard top-down management style of Steve Jobs, passed and cascaded down throughout various corporate layers. And for many, it still looms within the Apple corporate environment. But why do thousands of people then still queue outside an Apple store for a job? Why is Apple so successful? Because Apple inspires. That's why. Apple has a compelling why, which is consistent. Apple knows what it's here to do, to innovate, to disrupt, to give power to the individual. Apple has disrupted the computing industry, the music industry, the entertainment industry, the animation industry. That's why Apple inspires, because it has a compelling mission with whom people, individuals can resonate. Clients, internal and external, can resonate with Apple because Apple is honest with itself. They say what they want to do, and people flock outside Apple to get a job. So why, and we said about millennials, why should we care about millennials? And how do millennials see purposeful organizations? First of all, they don't really work for the paycheck alone. Only 11% of millennials define success, meaning to be a lot of money. And why should we care about millennials? Because by 2025, they will comprise 75% of the workplace. They define corporate culture. If we don't like it, we have to deal with it. Second component of engagement, autonomy. Help our people find their voice. Hire good people and get out of the way. Let them grow, let them learn, let them fail and fail better next time. Autonomy is the key. It's the highway to creativity. And we have seen before that one of the key sheltered skills of the future is creativity for innovation. If you take away autonomy because you want to control people to do things your way, you don't want to delegate, you don't want to trust your people, if you take away autonomy, you have killed creativity. And if you aspire to become a micromanager because you want people to do things your way, I have some bad news for you. Because according to a recent survey, 62% of people who have been micromanaged cut back their efforts and considered changing jobs. And 32% actually quit, just because you want to get things your way. Moving on to the third component, relatedness. People are social beings. They crave to create genuine, deep human connections and work in an environment where they are respected, where they are showed compassion and empathy, and where they can freely relate with one another and be attentively listened to. Respect is a hygiene factor like money. They are much more likely to engage and to apply discretionary effort if they feel that they are working in an environment that welcomes them as whole human beings, not just as workers, than otherwise the case. And what happens when people are disrespected? According to a relevant survey, 66% of people who have been disrespected or treated rudely at work cut back their efforts and become disengaged. Not a surprise, right? But how often do we think about these things? Moving to the next key component, values. Having clearly defined values so that people can know and expect how the organization expects them to act, and to ensure that there is alignment of the employees' values and the employer's values. It's one thing today, it's one thing to say that integrity is our value, but what does it mean on a day-to-day basis? What does it mean in those difficult cases whereby you don't know how to act? In addition to defining values, it's critically important to define also behaviors, specific behaviors within the context of those values so that people can know what you mean by your stated value. You can say, for example, that we attack processes and problems. We never attack people. Here is a behavior that is specific enough so as to see how it works. Or you can say, we always stick to our commitments no matter what. Specific behavior. Or we always act ethically without exception, from the sea level to the cleaner. No offense. So having specifically defined values and behaviors within the context of those values matters more than we think. At the same time, aligning our stated values with our actual systems, processes, and structures. It's one thing to say and to preach that we value teamwork, we value cooperation, we value interdependence. But if your systems, your performance systems, or anything else in your organization promote fierce competitiveness, fierce independence, and the creation of silos, well, you have a gross mismatch between your stated values and your actual systems and processes. And the mismatch will translate in confusion, loss of trust, and disengagement. And the final two components, which I will mention together because they go hand in hand, experience and learning. In today's fast-paced world, people need to continue. That's why we are here. We need to continuously learn, train, retrain, sometimes reskill and upskill, so as to keep up with technology. Competence, the pursuit of mastery and competence, according to leading psychologists, is a human need. People have a natural inclination to become better at things, to acquire mastery, to feel that they are progressing, to feel that they are becoming better day by day. It's a human need. That's why the only way to keep our colleagues fully immersed and engaged is by throwing challenging experiences on them and at the same time learning opportunities. You throw the challenge experience so that you can challenge the individual to overcome the obstacle, to overcome the complication. And the learning opportunity so as to tie everything together and to help the employee become future-proof. These are the 6 components to engagement according to my own account, and each one of them on its own is significant and important. Meaning we have seen is a compelling non-material reward and a significant driver. Autonomy, we need to help our people find their voice, to hire them, help them, coach them, and get out of the way so that they can become creative, which creativity is a key skill. Relatedness, create an environment where people can feel respected and trusted, where they can bring their whole self at work so that they can engage. Defining our values and our behaviors, aligning our stated values with our actual systems, processes, and structures, and last but not least, throwing challenging experiences to our people so as to keep them on their toes, keep them alert, and affording them with learning opportunities so as to be future-proof and to be at par with the rapid changes in technology. These are the key components, and if you put them all together, however, then you can experience what I call the marvel of engagement. By doing small changes, you can get big results and with minimal investment. Your employees will not only be future-proof, but by having a highly engaged team, you can have up to 21% greater profitability as per Gallup. Profitability. Up to 41% reduction in absenteeism. Guess what? Your people will actually want to be present at work. Wow, they will not be looking for excuses to be away or on leave. And 59% less employee turnover. your employees will actually want to stay and work with you. Incredible. More than 1-2 years, right? But the best of all, my friends, you as a manager, as a future leader, as a head of a future-proof team, can go home after a hard day's work, enjoy that wonderful glass of wine, and know that you are your own Marvel hero. Thank you. Just to mention that if you would like to find out more about the Marvel model and the concepts, I have published a book, and on the occasion of the Reflect Festival, I have made it available free for everyone, the Kindle edition, so you can still head over to Amazon today and get the book for free, absolutely free. No trapdoor, no small print, no catch, nothing. Thank you. Okay.